2 months ago, I made a Lost Media Minute video on a very mysterious piece of unconfirmed media. Something only a select few die-hard Nickelodeon fans knew about before me. Little did I know myself that this would kickstart a search not just among me and my peers, but many others as well. This minute-long video was about the unconfirmed Nickelodeon show from way back in 1979 titled Pocket Money. Now, if you don't know what Pocket Money is, or you haven't watched my Lost Media Minute covering it, don't worry. I will give a pretty detailed explanation of what Pocket Money is and a detailed summary of the search so far right here in this video. This will all lead up to a hopefully satisfying conclusion of our search efforts for this mysterious show within the vast universe of the first television network for kids. So what are we waiting for? Go grab that pocket money, because you are about to attend the premiere show of how us Lost Media researchers may have just sought out the most mysterious Nickelodeon show ever. So you may or may not be asking yourselves at this point, what is Pocket Money? Well, you may ask, it all started back on March 12, 2018, when YouTube user Poparena uploaded a video titled Clockman, Press Kits and Time Machines, Knickknacks Addendum 1979. For background, Poparena had been doing, and still is doing, a show-by-show retrospective of Nickelodeon titled Knickknacks. By the way, if you are looking for a really deep dive into Nickelodeon's history that will surely keep you entertained, I highly recommend Knickknacks. The link to the Knickknacks playlist and Poparena's channel is in the description for those who are interested. But anyways, staying on topic, Poparena would make the addendum video for corrections and updates for Nickelodeon 1979, the first official year of the channel's existence. Little did any of us know in the Lost Media community, but Poparena would bring a completely lost and mysterious Nickelodeon show to light in this very video. This, of course, being Pocket Money. Another thing I find interesting is this is also the video where Poparena would bring up Clockman, you know, like the most important Lost Media discovery of all time. Hey, I guess when one Lost Media door closes, another one opens. And a Lost Media door surely did open, as Poparena would first bring to light the most important piece of the Pocket Money search, the inaugural Nickelodeon 1979 press kit. Now, Poparena didn't actually discover the press kit, as that honor would go to YouTube user Ethan, who actually bought the press kit off of eBay, and even made his own video on it. His coverage of the press kit is pretty good, and I recommend giving it a watch. The link to that video is also in the description. Fast forward to 2018, where Poparena would notice Ethan's video on the 1979 press kit, and asked for many of the contents to be scanned to be used in his Knickknacks Addendum episode, as well as to be released online. Ethan complied, and Poparena was able to get access to many of the contents of the kit. This is when he made an intriguing discovery, and it all started on page 4 of the press kit. Page 4 introduces Nickelodeon and its mission to provide quality content for kids. However, it's a specific paragraph on this page where the focus of our video is mentioned. Along with other inaugural Nickelodeon shows such as Video Comic Books, Nickel Flicks, Pinwheel, and America Goes Bananas, a mysterious show titled Pocket Money is mentioned with a brief description. It reads, Pocket Money, a show that will cover everything from lollipop factories to youth and politics. Now, as you probably would expect, no show titled Pocket Money would ever air on Nickelodeon, or at least in the form that is mentioned in the press kit. It was never mentioned again officially by Nickelodeon, and it faded away in the sands of time, only to be rediscovered by some internet detectives almost 40 years later. So, now for the grand question. What was Pocket Money, and why did it never air on Nickelodeon? Well, my dear friends, you are about to hear 3 plausible theories on what the deal with Pocket Money was. Afterwards, I'll talk about how we are maybe able to get to a decent conclusion on one of Nickelodeon's biggest mysteries in the more than 40-year history of the network. Got it? Good. The first plausible theory is that Pocket Money was simply cancelled, plain and simple. This theory makes a lot of sense at face value. TV shows get under development all the time but just end up getting thrown out for one reason or another. Even if we limit ourselves to just Nickelodeon shows, there's examples such as the Go For It game show pilot that was filmed but never picked up, or Gibby, the iCarly spin-off about everyone's favorite falling fun guy that unfortunately never came to be. Pocket Money would seem to be no different. Yet this theory does have one question that's still left unanswered. That being, did Pocket Money ever enter production, and is there still footage of it out there? This is important because when searching for lost media, especially when it comes to existence unconfirmed media, your one goal is to confirm what you are looking for actually exists. In Pocket Money's case, that would be footage of the show that never came to air. Unfortunately, it seems that this theory just can't 100% confirm that. This brings us to our second theory, this being that Pocket Money was a fabrication created by Nickelodeon to act like they had more shows within the press kit. This theory actually reminds me of another piece of famous unconfirmed lost media, that being the infamous Yeah Yeah Beavis 1. Well, I won't go into many details here, as so many other people have covered it, but Yeah Yeah Beavis 1 is a rumored game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The game was mysteriously mentioned back in a few mail-order video game service flyers back in 1989, only to fade away into obscurity afterwards. The Beavis search actually shares quite a few parallels with the Pocket Money search, even when it comes down to theories on what it was. However, it's the theory about the game being a placeholder to fill up space that is by far the most relevant to Pocket Money. This is because Pocket Money could have just been a fabricated show within the press kit to make it seem like Nickelodeon had more shows. It makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that Pocket Money would never be mentioned again by the network. However, in my opinion, these two theories still aren't as interesting as the third and final theory. The third and final theory explaining Pocket Money is that it was another Nickelodeon show entirely, specifically the show By the Way. For context, By the Way is a show that aired on Nickelodeon from 1979 to 1980. It was a show that aired a mix of acquired animation and live-action short films, with segments featuring a character named Josie. Played by Andrea Hellman, Josie would be shown in forest or mountain settings doing various skits placed in between the acquired segments. While maybe not Pocket Money levels of obscurity, By the Way was definitely a mysterious Nickelodeon show in its own right. Prior to 2018, only one newspaper mention existed of the show, and the info included in it was super vague. But on December 26, 2018, 10 minutes of segments featuring Josie were found, and finally we were able to put the By the Way mystery to rest. Or at least most of it. But why would we think Pocket Money is By the Way? Well, this theory was proposed by none other than Poparena. The main reason that supports this theory is that By the Way is mentioned several other times in the press kit along with other inaugural Nickelodeon shows, but not with the other shows in the paragraph mentioning Pocket Money. I mean, why wouldn't By the Way be there but this mysterious show titled Pocket Money is there for whatever reason? It seems like a pretty reasonable theory that really doesn't leave much unanswered. Now of course, I'm talking about these theories in the past tense, because as I said earlier, we would eventually find some concrete info that would crack this mystery wide open. But first, let's talk about how I discovered the Pocket Money search and was instantly intrigued by this odd Nickelodeon mystery. When I first watched Poparena's video that originally brought light to Pocket Money's existence, or lack thereof, I was very interested in what this Nickelodeon show was and what exactly happened to it, so I kept researching onward, eventually leading me to make a Lost Media Wiki article on it and then my Lost Media Minute video to try to bring more attention to my search. And I did quite a few interesting things on my hunt, including forming my own theory of what Pocket Money actually was, and I called it the Geraldine Laybourne Pilot Theory. This theory involves the former president of Nickelodeon, the one and the only Geraldine Laybourne. For those unaware, Geraldine Laybourne was the president of Nickelodeon from 1984 to 1995. And while she would do quite a bit for the fledgling cable network in her years as president, way too much to explain in this video, we need to go back to before she was the president of Nickelodeon, specifically 1978. This is when she would found the company Early Bird Specials with two other people, with the goal of the company being to get independent filmmakers on television. And guess who their first gig was for? That's right, Nickelodeon. According to Laybourne, they pitched two pilots to Nick in 1979 that were quote-unquote esoteric and way out there, with her stating that the world may have not been ready for them yet. While Nickelodeon would not pick up the pilots Laybourne pitched, they would give her the position of programming manager instead, leading her to rise up the ranks over time. Literally the instant I heard this, I was thinking that maybe, just maybe, one of these two pilots is what Pocket Money was. It made a lot of sense. The year these pilots were supposedly pitched was 1979, the same year that Pocket Money came to be in the press kit. Also, the fact that Laybourne described these pilots as esoteric and way out there definitely fits the odd description of lollipop factories to youth in politics. And finally, there's literally nothing about these pilots online, leaving it for people like me to think about what they could be. All of the pieces seemed to fall into place. It was looking more and more likely that Pocket Money may have just been a product of the former president of Nickelodeon herself. But just as I felt like I was finally putting the pieces together to this intriguing Nickelodeon puzzle, something happened. Something was found that might have just cracked this crazy Nickelodeon search of conspiracy theories and empty leads wide open. And that something was found on September 14th, 2021. So, one day I was going about my usual internet activities when I decided to visit my dear friend, that being the Pocket Money page on the Lost Media Wiki. For curiosity's sake, I decided to scroll down to the comments section on the page to see if anyone had anything new to say. I saw a comment by LMW user Shane Rollins where they stated to have contacted Nick about Pocket Money via email on August 6, 2021. Despite seeming promising at first and having a really funny comment about Dan Schneider, it seems that nothing would come of this and it's not our comment of focus. The actual comment that caught my attention was by LMW user Milo Bloom. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And what I saw before me was nothing short of mind-blowing. The comment reads, "Here's some evidence it was just a working title for By the Way. I found a promo ad from 1979 in the Kingsport, Tennessee Daily News that uses the exact same ad copy as the press kit, except it lists By the Way in the place of Pocket Money. Included was a picture of an advertisement of Nickelodeon from the August 31st, 1979 issue of Daily News in Kingsport, Tennessee. This advertisement had very similar wording to the now infamous page 4 in the press kit, and as expected, the paragraph that mentions Pocket Money was there. However, in this newspaper ad specifically, there was no Pocket Money mention in sight. Instead, Pocket Money had been replaced with a little show called By the Way. This could only mean one thing. Pocket Money was a working title for By the Way. Maybe Poparena was right all along. Sure, you could make the case that we've never gotten official word from someone at Nickelodeon that Pocket Money was just By the Way, but why else would someone throw together that newspaper ad that's very similar to the press kit, right down to the word, with one of the only changes from the press kit being that Pocket Money was changed to By the Way? Out of all the theories mentioned so far, this is the only one that has completely concrete evidence from an official Nickelodeon source going for it, even if it's a bit indirect. Ecstatic about this new discovery, I went to go and try to find this newspaper listing to confirm this for myself, and after a bit of digging, I found the newspaper ad in all of its glory. I still couldn't believe it. We may have just stumbled right onto the true identity of Pocket Money, right here and right now. After a year or so of yet another crazy Nickelodeon mystery, like we have any shortage of those within the lost media community, this case may just be closing. It was a bittersweet, maybe even a bit anticlimactic ending, but now we can rest easy knowing that this odd search for an extremely obscure Nickelodeon show is simply just something else, that of course being By the Way. So here's to Pocket Money, a strange lost media mystery that kept me and my friends intrigued for quite a bit of money in my pocket. If you liked this video and you don't want to miss out on any future videos on this channel, make sure to click that subscribe button. It's free, and it only takes a second. It would also be cool if you gave a like, dislike, or whatever floats your boat. But anyways friends, this is BrayBray, thanks for watching, and remember that Buff Yoshi is always cash money.